So you've probably seen the cheap homes and the small town charm. But what you don't see is the part that makes people regret moving here. On the surface, Lumberton is affordable, there's diversity here, and it's right off I-95. But once you pay attention to what actual daily life feels like, the reality hits very fast.
This could be bad.
Economy issues, bad school ratings, the crime, and just the day-to-day experience. None of it matches what people have in their heads sometimes. And what I'm about to show you is what no one prepares you for. So let's address the big pink elephant in the room, the crime in Lumberton.
Crime? No, not crime.
Now, I used to be a police officer in Lumberton. I was a cop there for about 20 months, back in 2000, about just the beginning of 2002. I remember my salary there was $19,000 a year. It was a big amount of money right there. But I was happy. I was a police officer. That was my career. That was my dream job. So I was happy. Now, back in 2000, young kid, 25, 26 years old, I didn't see the crime as bad as I thought people thought it was, maybe. And of course, that was 25 years ago. Now, Lumberton is one of the most dangerous cities per capita in the United States now. Now, a lot of people don't see that because Lumberton is such a small little town, only 19,000 people live there, but I'm going to break it down for you. It's often excluded from the big most dangerous cities list because it's small, but percentiles show the truth. Safer than 0% of United States cities. Crime grade gives it an F for violent crime and property crime. You have a 1 in 7 chance of becoming a crime victim. Violent crime nearly 5 times the national median. Property crime 6 times the national median. And remember, this is a place with just 19,000 people. Now, crime numbers like this are not normal.
Is this normal?
Sitting right off I-95 brings constant movement to this city. You have transit crimes, drugs, going up and down I-95 from Miami to New York, and you got human trafficking also. Most people don't know this, but Lumberton was ranked #1 for the most dangerous city in North Carolina for 2025. #1. That alone changes everything.
New tonight, law enforcement and the Robeson County District Attorney's Office reacted to the county being ranked first in North Carolina for violent crime and property crime rates. As News 13's Andrea Gibbons reports, authorities say this may be partially due to a growing opioid epidemic in the area.
2022 crime stats recently released by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigations show Robeson County had the highest overall crime rate for the 3rd year in a row, increasing by 12.5% since 2021. Herbert Graham of the Rowland Police Department says drug abuse has contributed to the high violent crime and property crime rates in the area.
Well, the dealers are expecting payment, and when they don't get the payment, they assault the subjects that got the drugs from them on credit.
Graham says users also commit crimes to buy more drugs.
They got to have some means of getting it, buying it. They're not working.
I spoke with Robeson County District Attorney Matthew Scott, who says the county uses programs like the Adult Drug Treatment Program to try to fix this issue. Scott also said, quote, "Show me a county with high crime rates, and I guarantee that county is also low performing in schools and in employment rates," end quote. For the 2021 to 2022 school year, the public schools of Robeson County was designated a North Carolina low-performing district with 20 of its 35 schools receiving a D or lower. Chief Graham also attributes high crime rates to court backlog.
It's hard to deter somebody from doing a crime when you arrest him today and he's out tomorrow and he's out for another 3 years before he even goes to court.
Scott says the county has been working with the North Carolina Attorney General's office to help fix backlog caused by high crime and employee shortage and pandemic delays. Reporting in Rowland, Andrea Gibbons, News 13.
But the crime is only the start, unfortunately. It's what feeds into everything else. Unfortunately, Lumberton is one of the most highest poverty cities in North Carolina. Roughly 31% live below the poverty line. Median household sits around 40,000. Many people depend on disability, assistance, or odd jobs to get by. And just a little backstory here, I actually helped an older lady move to Lumberton. She's actually right next to the police department, which is a good thing. She's literally like police officer, like right next door to her, which is great because her being an elderly lady, her and her sister, I helped them buy this house. It was around I think 130,000. It was about a year ago. I helped her buy this house almost. Very nice lady, but she was on disability. She was her husband was a veteran, and so he passed away unfortunately, and she got to use his benefits to buy a house. The house she bought was great. Everything in it was an older home, but everything in it was just about new roof, new HVAC, even gave her home warranty, new flooring, everything like that. It was everything she needed and she wanted. I was a little worried about her moving to Lumberton, obviously, but she's a grown lady and she knows what she's doing. She understood all those issues also. And it goes right back to what I was saying. Yes, affordability looks good on paper. On paper, obviously, she wanted to move there because the house was in her budget. But that's because wages and opportunities have been stuck this way for years. New construction is low, development has almost come to a cease, and businesses are struggling. And when jobs are limited, people start looking outward for more opportunities, which leads us right into our next problem. Isolation and limited access. Now, Lumberton is right off I-95, and it's a great connection. I live in Hope Mills, and I'm right off I-95. And Hope Mills is a suburb of Fayetteville. And Lumberton's maybe 30 minutes from Fayetteville, and you're about maybe 2 hours away from Raleigh, which are probably the two biggest cities next to Lumberton. Now, if you go into South Carolina, there may be some other bigger cities there. I'm not really sure. But unfortunately, living in Lumberton feels a little isolated. And it goes right back into what we were talking about. Fewer paying jobs, not a lot of entertainment, limited access to healthcare or advanced healthcare. Many parks and public places are run down. And unfortunately, with a lot of hurricanes we've had here in the past 5 to 9 years have really cut off Lumberton because they got flooded so bad. Robeson County did in general. During Hurricane Florence, unfortunately, a lot of residents didn't get to evacuate because the resources weren't there to help them. And unfortunately, that's the limited mobility you have near Lumberton. And this combination of isolation, high crime, and poverty hits one area harder than the other. So if you're thinking of moving to Lumberton or Fayetteville and the surrounding areas, I'm a real estate agent with All American Realty Group. We've helped hundreds of people move to Hope Mills, Fayetteville, surrounding Lumberton areas. All my information is below. You can call or text us there, or you can click this QR code up here in the corner, and we can schedule a Zoom call together. And the next thing that's hitting Lumberton really hard is the weak education options. Obviously, for a lot of families, this is a major roadblock. Schools are constantly struggling. The math and reading level are fluctuating at 39%. Many classrooms are underfunded. Only 21% of the adult population has a bachelor's degree, and more than 20% never finished high school. Parents talk about a huge gap between what the students need and what the system can provide. Even though this is a work in progress, you can definitely work around this. There's one more thing that's hurting the city, and it goes right into drugs, gangs, and trafficking. Like I said earlier, I-95 plays a big pipeline for all of this. You've got drug runners from Florida shoot up to New York. And it's not just a crime issue, it's systematic. You will hear people talk about theft, car break-ins, business break-ins, even house break-ins. Addiction issues with drugs and alcohol, people wandering in neighborhoods, and constant police activity. Officers do what they can, but the volume is just too much. So Lumberton has lost about 9% of their population since 2000. And that right there shows you that Lumberton has been fighting an uphill battle for such a long time.
Why can't we catch a break?
And here's the wild part. On paper, this place looks amazing. You've got an A+ for diversity, A- for cost of living, and the people who do live there and have grown up there are generally welcome and love the community. That's a mix of the good and the bad, which gives it a C+ for livability. That's why so many residents say the same thing. I wish I knew all this before I moved here. So the question is Lumberton for you? Or is the real question, what small town is best for you? Because one of them may surprise you.